Hi guys, this is Jane. We tried meditating together last time, so it's time to jump to another step. Namaste. Elon Musk debuts Tesla first humanoid robot with eye on mass market. Elon Musk has unveiled a prototype of Tesla humanoid robot, Optimus, which the electric car maker aims to mass produce in the millions and sell for under 18,000 pounds. The billionaire tycoon said he expects the company would be ready to take orders in 3 to 5 years. The firm pushed to design and build mass-market robots that will also be tested by doing jobs in its factories, set is apart from other manufacturers that have experimented with humanoid machines. The debut of the prototype robots at Tesla office in Palo Alto, California, forms part of Mr. Musk's bid to position Tesla as a leader in fields such as artificial intelligence and not just a company that makes cool cars. An experimental test robot with exposed wires and electronics, which Tesla said was developed in February, walked out slowly onto a stage, turned and waved to a cheering crowd at an event on Friday. The company also showed a video of it doing simple tasks, such as watering plants, carrying boxes, and lifting metal bars at a production station at the company's California plant. But a more streamlined current model, which Mr. Musk said was closer to what he hoped to put into production, had to be rolled out and did a slow wave to the audience. Mr. Musk, who co-founded the electronic payment firm PayPal and formed the rocket manufacturer SpaceX, called the robot Optimus and said it would be able to walk in a few weeks. He added there is still a lot of work to be done to refine Optimus and prove it. But he went on, I think Optimus is going to be incredible in 5 or 10 years, like mind-blowing. Musk said existing humanoid robots were missing a brain and the ability to solve problems on their own. By contrast, he said Optimus would be an extremely capable robot, while other car makers, including Toyota and Honda, have developed humanoid robot prototypes capable of doing complicated tasks. Tesla is alone in pursuing the opportunity for a mass-market robot that could also be used in factory work. The next generation Tesla bot will use Tesla design components, including a 2.3 kilowatt battery pack carry in its torso, and is designed to weigh 73 kilograms. Unveiled students return to school for the first time after mass shooting that killed 21st. I want to just shelter her as a mom, just keep her home. But of course I don't want her to live in fear, said the mother of one student in Texas community. Students and teachers returned to school Tuesday in the heartbroken community of Uvalde, Texas, for the first time since 19 children and 2 educators were killed during a mass shooting at an elementary school in May. As children return to the classroom, the town continues to mourn those who were killed and demand accountability in deadly shooting at Robb Elementary School, during which law enforcement officers waited more than an hour before entering a 4th grade classroom where the gunman carried out the attack. The first day brought anguish for parents whose children died in the massacre. Steve and Gracia, whose 9-year-old daughter Elena was killed, said he was an emotional wreck Tuesday morning and felt a surge of anger. I couldn't find the tears, but then I thought back to my Ellie and know she wouldn't want me to feel that way, he wrote in a post on social media. Thinking of all the first day of school with my Ellie, no one expects to have to bury their child after leaving them at school, he said in another post. Jennifer Lugo, Ellie's mother, said in a post the night before the first day of school that her stomach was in a big knot, and she was sure the family would be leaving the house with tears and not smiles. I'm missing one of my babies, she said, adding that Ellie loved school and was always excited to get up and get ready with her sister. Kimberly and Felix Rubio, whose daughter Lexi was killed, said ahead of the first day of school that they were frightened for their for their 5 other children. I don't know that the school district has done everything that I would like to see as far as security measures, but I also know it's important for the kids to have some sort of routine, so trying to balance what's best for them, Kimberly said. Lexi has been on her mind, she said, and meeting her youngest son's teacher was incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult to go on campus knowing that Lexi is not going to be meeting a teacher this year, Kimberly said. Students across the state were marooned to school Tuesday in support of the UVA community. Robb Elementary has not reopened since the shooting, and its surviving student has been scattered to different schools in the area. The school district also added virtual options this year for parents who didn't feel comfortable sending their children back into classroom. Parents arriving at some local school Tuesday morning were greeted with taller fences, increased security and cameras, a large law enforcement presence, more counselors, and even emotional support dogs. Outside Dalton Elementary School in Uvalde, Esther said that one of her children had attended Robb Elementary at the time of the shooting and had received counseling because she was traumatized. But Natalie, whose children are 7 and 8 years old, says she felt safer with the added security measure. I'm on the positive side, so I hope that what happened last year won't happen again, she said. For right now, I think they are in good hands. Pre-kindergarten teacher Belinda Remise says she wasn't nervous about the start of the school year in the shadow of the tragedy. She's happy that school is starting again, but also just a bit sad for the kids, she said. Her nephew attended Robb Elementary last school year. We asked him and he just stayed quiet, so I know he's a bit nervous, but we are happy that school is starting back up, and when we start, I think it will get all better, she said. We have to just continue to move forward. Late last month, Uvalde School Police Chief Pete Arredondo was fired by Texas City's school board, which voted unanimously to oust him. The embattled chief capped 3 months of outrage over the botched law enforcement response to the shooting at Robb Elementary. 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 8 seconds passed from the time police entered the building May 24 until the gunman was killed, Texas Department of Public Safety Director Steve McCraw has said. A scathing report released in July by Texas House Committee investigating the mass shooting found systemic failures and poor decision-making by law enforcement and the school district. And her husband Julio have made helping their 10-year-old daughters return to school a priority. The girl, Madison, was at Robb Elementary the day of the shooting. The family has enrolled Madison in a private school, which they say made safety upgrades after the shooting. I want to just shelter her as a mom and just keep her home, but of course, I don't want her to live in fear, she said. Here's what you need to know about Liz Truss, Britain's new leader. Sometime compared to the UK's first female leader, Margaret Thatcher, Truss has also been accused of being a political killman. London as a girl and a young woman, Liz Truss protests against then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and called for the abolition of the monarchy. Decades later, having risen through the ranks of Thatcher's Conservative Party, Truss, 47, on Tuesday was appointed to the United Kingdom Prime Minister by Queen Elizabeth II. As she headed to No. 10 Downing Street, Truss looks eager to rule in the image of the famously blunt and strong-willed iconoclast whose legacy still divides this country. Her victory means she will become the country's third female leader, after Thatcher and Theresa May. The Iron Lady, as Thatcher was known, was the 20th century's longest-serving British leader and birthed an ideology, Thatcherism, that still dominates the party with its low tax, high-growth economic liberalism. Serving as primer from 1979 to 1990. When she was forced to resign by her own government, Thatcher was a strident cold warrior and a supporter of free markets, and especially close to President Ronald Reagan, one of Britain's most divisive prime minister, revile and revert in almost equal measure to this day. She's best known for her policies. She's best known for her policy on deregulation, privatizing state-owned companies, and smashing the power of unions. She died in 2013. Whether international or not, observers and the public have pointed out Truss appears to have a habit of recreating iconic Thatcher public appearance. While serving as Foreign Secretary, Truss was accused of consciously mirroring Thatcher by posing in a Challenger 2 tank while visiting British troops in Estonia. A famous picture of Thatcher in a Challenger tank in Germany in 1986. When visiting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov at the Kremlin in February, she wore a fox for hat that again was compared to that worn by Thatcher on a Russia trip in 1987. During the Conservative leadership contest, Truss wore an outfit strikingly similar to one Thatcher had worn for an election broadcast in 1979, a black blazer and a white shirt with a bow tie at the front. For Truss critics, the similarities to Thatcher's are the best premature and worst ludicrous. I don't think there is anything in it. They're completely different people. Truss supporter Andrea Andino, 55, insisted outside the venue where Truss was announced the new leader of the Conservative Party on Monday. Andino wore a t-shirt in Liz We Trust. She's different. I don't think she will follow Thatcher in any way, she added. Timothy Kirkhope, a Conservative member of the upper chamber of the British Parliament, also dismissed the comparison, but for different reasons. I regard any comparison between Truss and Thatcher as derisory, he said in an email. I worked as a government whip under Margaret Thatcher. She was a colossus in politics. There is absolutely no way that Truss could ever get anywhere near the achievements of Thatcher, he said. Truss herself complained to BBC Radio 4 in July that women tend to get compared to Thatcher whether they resemble her or not. I'm on my own person, she said. James Cleverly, who served as education minister under Boris Johnson, echoes these sentiments. She's a woman in politics, though comparisons are inevitable, and he said, "She is Liz Truss, she's her own person." To those of us who have studied Thatcher, she's hardly in the same league, at least on current form, said Professor Tim Bell, an expert on British politics and the Conservative Party at Queen Mary University of London. While Thatcher was regarded then and now was a conviction politician who embodied her beliefs, Truss had been accused of being a political chameleon, flip-flopping on major policies and criticized for lacking hard and fast principles. She was an activist for the centrist Liberal Democrat Party as a college student. "We do not believe people are born to be ruled," she said while arguing passionately for the abolition of the monarchy at the party conference in 1994, a testament to just how far she has traveled politically. Truss campaigned for Britain to remain in the European Union, only flip side and later support Brexit once the country has voted to leave in 2016. The commitment to Brexit and unlocking its supposed benefits is now a core pillar of her platform, an attitude that could lead to a heated and expensive legal battle with the European Union and the Republic of Ireland over the complex of Northern Ireland Protocol. While Truss said during the Brexit referendum campaign that Britain shouldn't spend years in massive divorce from Europe, she may be about to preside over exactly this. Born in Oxford in 1975, Mary Elizabeth Truss is the daughter of John Kenneth, a math professor at the University of Leeds, and Priscilla Truss, a nurse. In the biography section of her website, she described her parents as left-wing. When she was 4, the family relocated to Paisley, a town near Glasgow in Scotland. They moved again in 1985 to the northern English city of Leeds in West Yorkshire. Truss frequently refers to herself as a Yorkshire woman. A falsy attempt to contract her upbringing with the largely affluent Southern English background of many Conservative members and activists. Throughout her leadership campaign, Truss said her vision of conservatism was inspired by seeing fellow students at the local public high school struggling in an overly bureaucratic failing system. Many of the children I was at school with were let down by low expectations, poor education standards, and a lack of opportunity, she said at her leadership launch July 14. Former student and staff at Raleigh and also local politicians dispute Truss' portrayal, accusing her of unfairly meddling the school for political gain. It is located in one of the most affluent areas of Leeds, and it certainly could never be described fairly as a sink school, he said via email, referring to British terminology for a failing and underachieving school. Her contentions about her deprived background as the daughter of the university professor are a load of nonsense, Crihope said. After graduating from Oxford in 1969, she abandoned the Liberal Democrats and joined the Conservative Party, the dismay of her left-leaning father. He was quite horrified, she told the Times newspaper in 2012. After college, Truss worked as a graduate trainee accountant for the energy giant Shell and later the telecommunications company Cable and Wireless. In 2000, she married fellow accountant Hugh O'Leary, and they have 2 daughters. After a youth on the center-left university prime Truss for conservation to the right, I met Tories and I realized that they didn't have 2 heads. and were actually good people, she told the Daily Mail in 2019. Truss stood as a Tory candidate in the election of 2001 and 2005, losing both times. It would take another 5 years before she was finally elected as the MP for South West Norfolk. Truss has served in various cabinet positions since 2012 under the governments of David Cameron, Theresa May, and Johnson. It was under Johnson that she was promoted to foreign minister, one of the most powerful positions in government. Truss was leading the transitions to a post-Brexit trading rim and forging new diplomatic ties. The Conservative Party may have ditched Johnson, but his brand of populism looks set to stay under the new prime minister. She stayed loyal to Johnson. She told the membership that they want to hear on the economy and taxations rather than any hard truths. She is a fierce Brexiteer and an anti-woke warrior, Bell said. Truss may be compared to Thatcher, but her critics believe she has much more in common with her predecessor. I regret that a Liz Truss premiership would be a continuation of the Boris Johnson style. Kipper said, a Truss government would be even more divisive and include individuals who are notable only for their extreme or eccentric view, he said. Steve Bannon expected to face state indictment in New York. The Manhattan DA office had opened an investigation into Bannon in connection with his role in a charity that was supposed to use private funds to build the U.S.-Mexico border wall. Almost 2 years after he received a pardon from President Donald Trump in a federal fraud case, Steve Bannon is expected to face state indictment in New York. In a segment first shared with NBC News on Tuesday night, Bannon said New York has now decided to pursue phony charges against me 60 days before the midterm election. This is nothing more than a Persian political weaponization of the criminal justice system, added Bannon, who once was the chief White House strategist in the Trump administration. The statement came after the Washington Post, citing people familiar with the situation, reported that Bannon planned to surrender Thursday. NBC News has asked the Manhattan District Attorney Office for comment. The District Attorney Office last year opened an investigation into Bannon in connection with his role in a charity that was supposed to use private funds to build the U.S.-Mexico border wall, NBC News reported in February 2021. The previous year, Bannon was indicted with 3 other people on charges of taking money donated to help build a wall along the southern border. Federal prosecutors alleged that Bannon's We Build the Wall campaign, which raised more than $25 million, defrauded hundreds of thousands of donors who contributed to an effort to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, one of Trump's key campaign promises. Trump pardoned Bannon in January 2021, but presidential pardons apply only to federal charges, meaning New York is not prohibited from pursuing similar charges. I am proud to be a leading voice on protecting our borders, and building a wall to keep our country safe from drugs and violent criminals, Bannon said in Tuesday night's statement. They are coming after all of us, not only President Trump and myself. I am never going to stop fighting. In fact, I have not yet begun to fight. They will have to kill me first. Separately, Bannon was convicted of contempt of Congress after he refused to answer questions from the House January 6 committee. A jury found him guilty on 2 counts of contempt of Congress in July. A woman jumped from a moving car after being kidnapped by a man who asked for water, authorities say. Jeremy Alaska, 31, is accused of holding the woman at knife point in Washington state. Authorities in Washington state identified a suspect Tuesday who they say carjacked a woman and held her at knife point until she escaped by jumping from a moving car. The woman had given water to Jeremy Alaska, 31, after he approached her vehicle asking for some in an incident that began in Vancouver, Washington, early Saturday, the Clark County Sheriff's Office said in a news release. Alaska is expected to be charged with kidnapping, robbery, and attempted eluding after he fled from officers, the sheriff's office said. The woman, who has not been identified, told authorities after she gave Alaska water, she allowed him into her car. Alaska produced a knife and used the threat of violence to take control of the car. The release alleged, adding that he drove roughly 15 miles to the city of Camas. Alaska slowed down on a dirt road, authorities said, and the woman jumped from the car and started banging on the doors of the nearby homes. A resident, James Wood, told NBC affiliate KGW of Portland, Oregon, that he and his family awoke around 4:30 a.m. to the sound of a woman pounding on the back door of his home and moving the doorknob. She was desperate to get in, which I can't understand, Wood told the station. She told me that someone tried to kill her and someone stole her car. Was told the station that he called 911 after deputies searched the area and found the car. The driver fled, according to the release. 11 minutes later, and about 8 miles away, authorities from the sheriff's office and the Vancouver Police Department were able to pin the car. And the release says Alaska was taken into custody after he tried to flee the vehicle. The release says he refused to provide his name and was identified through other names. The sheriff's office says it wasn't immediately clear whether he has a lawyer to speak on his behalf. Police say that they have found.
Turning now to breaking news in the investigation of that missing Memphis jogger and mother of two. Police confirmed today the body of 34-year-old Eliza Fletcher has.
Police say that they have found the remains of missing jogger Eliza Fletcher. Memphis authorities have confirmed a body found during the search for Eliza Fletcher was identified as the 34-year-old woman who was abducted during a run Friday morning. NBC News' Chris reports on the news details police have released and the latest charges against the suspect charged with kidnapping Fletcher. And that is the end for today. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Oh, and by the way, all the tips I gave you last time, I hope it worked, because it worked for me, and I think that it worked for most people with average memory. I myself have average memory, and I couldn't learn anything besides English, because I hate everything. I hate every subject besides English. The only thing that I find English is interesting because it was another language, and I hate math. I hate math. I especially hate math, and I don't want to, calculate anything, and I not good at calculating things, so that's why I hate math. And about English is that when I was small, when I was about 9 years old, I watched Disney Channel a lot, and that is when I know I like English, because Disney Channel is all about English. If you don't understand English, so yeah, I watch it, and although I don't understand a word it was saying about what is the movie about and what it's called. I just remember the melody. You know, Phineas the Verb, right? I just remember that the song in the intro song right from the start. I remember the melody, the way they pronounce, but I don't know for sure how they pronounce it. So I just remember the melody and I sing along. So that is when I remember all the stuff and all the words that I accidentally remember by remembering the melody. So when I said that music can help you a lot, I mean it. So if you guys try it, and if you have any, like positive result, comment below, and follow for more if you like my tips and you find it effective. So yeah, thank you and goodbye. Oh, one more thing. I also like English, and I only good at speaking, and I'm not good at grammar. Yeah, I also not good at grammar. I only good at speaking because I can, like mumbling to the sound and um, like for example, they sing like what's going on, so I will like mama mama. I remember the sound. I don't remember what they're saying, and I don't know what they're saying, but I remember the sound. So when I grow up, it means when I was in secondary school or something like that, I learned it and I know, oh, so that's what it is, that what it was about, and yeah, that's how I learned it. And I only good at speaking because I remember the basic words, the basic step that they say. For example, hello, how are you? How are you today? You're good? Are you good? How are you today? I'm good. Thank you for asking. Like just basic stuff, and I get better and better through movies. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got. I don't know if I could help you with that, but I think for myself, I'm getting better, and you have to learn. You you cannot learn English without learning it. Uh, you know, without actually learning it. So you have to put time and effort into learning stuff, and eventually it will come out great. It will get you a positive result and a, a very good result that you want. So don't give up and don't lose trust in yourself, especially when you find it hard. Just took a break. Just take a break and get some air, go outside, have fun with your friends for a day if you're feeling stressed about studying stuff, and after that you get it together and yeah, just study, dude. That's it. Hi all, it's Gracie, and it's been a while and I've been waiting to talk to you guys about this video. If you find it helpful, give it a like or comment below to let me know. I appreciate it a lot, and that's all. So let's hop into this today video, and we will talk about ways to relax yourself when you're on the point of not wanting to learn. So like you're too tired and think you have tried your best and wanting to give up. I know that it's hard, but if you really think about it, all the effort you have put into and all the nights staying up, try every little bit until now, and you want to throw it all away? Yeah, so let's talk about that first. Tourist dog as plane makes extremely low landing on Greek islands on Skythos in the agency of the east coast of Greece has an airport booked by the water. It is known for aircraft landing at a shallow angle and coming close to onlookers on the beach. This is the scalp searing moment of Wizz Air jet passed by the heads of tourists before landing on Greek holidays island. The plane, which is said to be an Airbus A321neo, can be seen passing a few feet above the heads of people watching at the end of the runway at Skiathos Airport. 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 People can be heard shouting surprise at the plane getting so close. Skiathos, located just east of the Greek mainland, is a popular holiday destination. Its airport is booked by the agency, with planes having to come down over a beach regardless of the direction of approach. This is not the first time a plane has come in close to bystanders' heads, with videos showing hair-raising moments through the years. The YouTube channel which uploaded the video said the recent distance might be possibly lower than a previous example where an Air Italy 373 ABK came in at a shallow angle in 2013. Death toll from Pakistan floods passes 1,200 as more rain forecast. It had been pouring into the country, and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is visiting flood-hit areas to oversee rescue and relief activities. The death toll from floods in Pakistan has passed 1,200 with more rain forecast over the next few days. The floods have affected more than 33 million people, or 1 in 7 Pakistanis, with stellate images showing the devastation caused by the flooding. It had been pouring into the country and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is visiting flood-hit areas to oversee rescue and relief activities. Satellite. Further rain is forecast across the country over the next few days, including the capital, Islamabad, threatening to exacerbate the situation. Health officials are reporting an outbreak of waterborne disease in the flood-affected areas as authorities set up efforts to provide clean drinking water to hundreds of thousands of people who have lost their homes in the disaster. Diarrhea, skin disease, and eye infection are spreading at relief camps set up by the government. Records monsoon rains and melting glaciers in northern mountains brought floods that have killed at least 1,208 people, including 416 children, the country's National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) have said. Meanwhile, rescuers backed by the military have counted operations to take marooned people to safer place. Rescuers are mostly using boats, but helicopters are also flying to evacuate stranded people from areas where bridges and roads have been destroyed. Pakistan and the United Nations have issued an appeal for £138 million in emergency funding. The heat's run off pets, but a new wearable fan in Japan is helping hot dogs keep cool. A Tokyo clothing maker has teamed up with vets to create a wearable fan for pets to help them get through hot summers. The device consists of a small, battery-operated fan that is attached to a mesh outfit and blows air around an animal's body. It is brainchild of Reis Uzawa, president of a maternity clothing maker, Sweet Mommy, who said she wanted to end the rough times her chihuahua was having every time it went out for a walk in extreme heat. there was almost no rainy season this year, so the hot days came early. And in that scene, I think we developed a product that is right for the market, she said. After the rainy season in Tokyo and in late June, the Japanese capital suffered the longest heat wave on record with temperatures up to 35 degrees for 9 days. I usually use dry ice packs to keep the dog cool, but I think it's easier to walk my dog if we have this fan, said Kumamoto, Mami Kumamoto, 48, owner of a miniature poodle named Pudding and a terrier named Mako. The device debuted in early July, and Sweet Mommy has received around 100 orders for the product. Uzawa said it's come in 5 different sizes and is priced at 9,900 yen, around 60 pounds. Police find cocaine worth 1.2 million pounds hidden in wheelchair at Milan airport. Almost 1.2 million pounds worth of cocaine was found in a motorized wheelchair in Italy. A sniffer dog helped police at a Malpensa airport in Milan make the discovery. The user of the wheelchair was pretending to be disabled, and financial guard police found the drugs stuffed in the upholstery of the wheelchair. The man was immediately arrested, police said. The Khiry unit was on patrol at the airport checking arriving passengers and their luggage from the flight from the Dominican Republic, a commonly used drug smuggling route. When the dog drew the officer's attention to the wheelchair, police checked the luggage but found nothing. They then cut open the upholstery of the wheelchair and found cocaine. Police said that when their discovery was made, the user, a Spinard, got up from the wheelchair and walked unaided. In total, 11 packets of cocaine weighing 13.25 kilograms, about 25.2 pounds, was seized, and it could have made 27,000 individual doses, police said. The street value of bust valued to around 1.4 million pounds, euros, and 1.2 million pounds. Old manuscript which revealed bizarre medical curses being shared by Cambridge University. Baking a salt oil and grinding it into powder to treat gout is one of the bizarre suggestions found among thousands of medical remedies. Stuffing a puppy with snail and sage, roasting it over a fire, and using the fat to make a salve is another suggested gout cure. Someone suffering from cataracts hundreds of years ago would be advised to make the gallbladder of a hare with some honey and use a feather to apply it to their eye. The treatments are among 8,000 medical recipes contained in 180 medieval manuscripts, mostly dating to the 40th or 15th centuries, that are being digested by the Cambridge University Library. However, some date back even earlier, with one being 1,000 years old. They also give an insight into the violence of medieval life, with advice on how to discover if a skull has been fractured after a weapon injury, as well as how to set broken bones and stop bleeding. Some contains detailed illustrations and show doctors use a bewildering array of ingredients, animal, vegetable, and mineral, said project leader Dr. James Freeman. For all their complexities, medieval medical recipes are very related to modern readers, he said. Many address ailments that we still struggle with today's headaches, toothache, diarrhea, coughs, itching limbs. They show medieval people trying to manage their health with the knowledge that was available to them at the time, just as we do. Dr. Freeman added they are also a reminder of the pain and precarity of medieval life, before antibiotics, before antiseptics, and before pain relief as we would know them all today. Other treatments include salting an oil and baking it until it can be ground into a powder, mixing it with bar grease to make a self, and rubbing it onto the sufferer bodies to cure good. The texts come from a dozen Cambridge colleges, the Fitzwilliam Museum, and University Library, and are being preserved as part of the 5,100 Curious Cures project. First transcriptions of the remedies and high-res image will be made freely available in the Cambridge Digital Library as catalogers work through the text over the next 2 years. Ricky Martin sues nephew who falsely claimed they were in sexual relationship. Ricky Martin has filed a lawsuit against the nephew who claimed he had been in a sexual relationship with the singer and has subsequently been stalked by him. The Puerto Rican singer's lawyer said the claim by Dennis Martin, which he has seen recant, had cost him millions of dollars in lost income. In the lawsuit, filed in U.S. Territories Court of First Instance, the singer accused his nephew of extortion, malicious persecution, abuse of law, and damage stemming from false allegations. It alleges Ricky Martin, 50, has been persecuted besides harassed, stalked, and extorted by his troubled nephew for economic reasons. The lawsuit also alleges that if the nephew does not obtain any financial benefit, he could continue to assassinate the reputation and integrity of the artist. In July, Dennis Martin withdrew a domestic violence complaint in which he alleged he feared for his safety because Martin has refused to accept his decisions to end a romantic relationship and had continued to calling him and had loitered outside his home. The allegations, described as nothing further from the truth, cost Ricky Martin at least $10 million in lost income as a result of canceled contracts and projects, as well as $20 million in damages to his reputation, according to the lawsuit. It accuses his nephew, 21, of sending up to 10 messages a day to Martin between October 2021 and January 2022, the majority of them meaningless diatribe without any particular purpose, and of publishing the singer's private number on Instagram, which he was forced to change as a result. According to the lawsuit, several months then went by without his nephew sending a message until he obtained a restraining order against Martin in July. Martin had denied the main allegations against him, saying they were completely false. After the restraining order against Martin was lifted by a court in Puerto Rico earlier this summer and the case was closed, the singer truth prevails. A video shared with the media by his publicist, the Living La Vida Loca singer, called the allegation painful and devastating. To the person who was claiming this nonsense, I wish him the best, and I wish he finds the help so he can start a new life filled with love and truth and joy, and he doesn't hurt anyone else, he said. Now my priority is to heal with music. I cannot wait to be back on stage. I can't wait to be back in front of the cameras and entertain, which is what I do best. Martin has been married to Swedish painter Johan Josef since 2017, and the couple live in north coastal town of Dorado in Puerto Rico with their 2 children. Harry Styles addresses rumors. Harry Styles teased fans after rumors he spat on Chris Pine at Don't Worry Darling premiere at Venice Film Festival. Harry Styles has addressed rumors he spat on co-star Chris Pine at the Venice premiere of their latest film Don't Worry Darling. The British pop star, who is up for a Mercury Prize tonight, told fans at his Madison Square Garden gig in New York on Wednesday evening, "I just popped very quickly to Venice to spit on Chris Pine, but fear not, we're back." The joke went down well with fans who responded with screams. There has been much speculation about some of the cast members of the philosophical thriller not getting on. However, internet chatter reached new heights on Tuesday after a clip showing Styles taking his seat next to co-star Chris Pine at the Venice Film Festival premiere of Don't Worry Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde, who Styles is now dating, went viral. Twitter users questions whether it showed the 28-year-old One Direction star spitting in Payne's lap before sitting down next to him, with Pine apparently looking confused and then laughing to himself. However, Variety co-editor-in-chief shared this clip, which showed Styles' entrance from a different angle. With the initial video seen by millions of people, sources for Styles have said this story is not true. As a representative for Pine, 42 had also denied the incident took place. People are seeing some odd illusions of source online that is clearly deceiving. There is nothing but respect between these two men, the representative told Sky News US affiliate E! News. This is a completely fabricated exchange, the rep add, and any suggestion otherwise is a blatant attempt to create drama that simply does not exist. Don't Worry Darling is a satirical thriller set in the 1950s, also starring British actresses Florence Pugh and Gemma Chan, with while 38 appearing in the film as well as working behind the camera. The film reported received a 5-minute standing ovation following the screening conclusion on Monday night. However, it has been subject of much recent media attention due to the interest in Wall and Style relationships, reports of behind-the-scenes tension, and the departure of Shia LaBeouf, who was replaced by the singer from the project. Ahead of its premiere, Wall said she did not want to contribute to the endless tabloid gossip and the noise. Olivia Wilde says public surveillance of Jason Sudeikis' custody document was vicious attempt at sabotage. Olivia Wilde has spoken about public's being served legal documents on behalf of her former fiancé Jason Sudeikis while she was on stage, describing it as vicious and scary. The 38-year-old actress and director, who is now in a relationship with Harry Styles, was handed an envelope marked "personal" and confidential at an industry event in Las Vegas in April, as she was promoting her upcoming thriller Don't Worry Darling. She had 2 children with Sudeikis' 8-year-old son Otis and 5-year-old daughter Daisy, and earlier in August reportedly won the first part of custody battle after his claim for the children to live in Brooklyn, New York was dismissed. In the new cover interview with U.S. entertainment outlet Variety, Wilde referred to the incident without naming her ex-partner. "It was my workplace," she said. "In another workplace, it would be seen as an attack. It was really upsetting. It shouldn't have been able to happen. There was a huge breach in security, which is really, really scary. The hurdles that you had to jump through to get into that room with several batches plus special COVID tests that had to be taken days in advance, which gave you wristbands that were necessary to gain access to the event. There was something that required forethought. Footage of the incident showed while appearing surprised after opening the envelope. The star told Variety the incident took away from the work that everyone had put into Don't Worry Darling. I hate that this nastiness distract from the work of so many different people and the studio that I was up there representing. She said to try to sabotage that was really vicious, but I had a job to do. I'm not easily distracted. But Sally, it was not something that was entirely surprising to me. I mean, there's a reason I left that relationship. Following the incident, American representatives for Studio 46 confirmed the documents were related to the jurisdiction of the couple's children, but said the actor had no prior knowledge of how they would be delivered. The claim by Dennis Martin, which he has seen recant, had cost him millions of dollars in lost income. In the lawsuit filed in U.S. Territories Court of First Instance, the singer accused his nephew of extortion, malicious persecution, abuse of law, and damage stemming from false allegations. It alleges Ricky Martin, 50, has been persecuted besides harassed, stalked, and extorted by his troubled nephew for economic reasons. The lawsuit also alleges that if the nephew does not obtain any financial benefit, he could continue to assassinate the reputation and integrity of the artist. In July, Dennis Martin withdrew a domestic violence complaint in which he alleged he feared for his safety because Martin has refused to accept his decisions to end a romantic relationship and had continued to calling him and had loitered outside his home. The allegations, described as nothing further from the truth, cost Ricky Martin at least $10 million in lost income as a result of canceled contracts and projects, as well as $20 million in damages to his reputation. According to the lawsuit, it accuses his nephew, 21, of sending up to 10 messages a day to Martin between October 2021 and January 2022, the majority of them meaningless diatribe without any particular purpose, and of publishing the singer's private number on Instagram, which he was forced to change as a result. According to the lawsuit, several months then went by without his nephew sending a message until he obtained a restraining order against Martin in July. Martin had denied the main allegations against him, saying they were completely false. After the restraining order against Martin was lifted by court in Puerto Rico earlier this summer and the case was closed, the singer truth prevails. A video shared with the media by his publicist, the Living La Vida Loca singer, called the allegation painful and devastating. To the person who was claiming this nonsense, I wish him the best, and I wish he finds the help so he can start a new life filled with love and truth and joy, and he doesn't hurt anyone else, he said. Now my priority is to heal with music. I cannot wait to be back on stage. I can't wait to be back in front of the cameras and entertain, which is what I do best. Martin has been married to Swedish painter Johan Josef since 2017, and the couple live in north coastal town of Dorado in Puerto Rico with their 2 children. Harry Styles addresses rumors. Harry Styles teased fans after rumors he's back on Chris Payne at Don't Worry Darling premiere at Venice Film Festival. Harry Styles has addressed rumors he's back on co-star Chris Pine at the Venice premiere of their latest film Don't Worry Darling. The British pop star, who is up for a Mercury Prize tonight, told fans at his Madison Square Garden gig in New York on Wednesday evening, "I just popped very quickly to Venice to spit on Chris Pine, but fear not, we're back." The joke went down well with fans who responded with screams. There has been much speculation about some of the cast members of the philosophical thriller not getting on. However, internet chatter reached new heights on Tuesday after a clip showing Style taking his seat next to co-star Chris Pine at the Venice Film Festival premiere of Don't Worry Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde, who Style is now dating, went viral. Twitter users questions whether it showed the 28-year-old One Direction star spitting in Payne's lap before sitting down next to him, with Pine apparently looking confused and then laughing to himself. However, Variety co-editor-in-chief shared this clip, which showed Styles' entrance from a different angle. With the initial video seen by millions of people, sources for Style have said this story is not true. As a representative for Pine, 42, had also denied the incident took place. People are seeing some odd illusions of source online that is clearly deceiving. There is nothing but respect between these two men, the representative told Sky News US affiliate E! News. This is a completely fabricated exchange, the rep add, and any suggestion otherwise is a blatant attempt to create drama that simply does not exist. Don't Worry Darling is a satirical thriller set in the 1950s, also starring British actresses Florence Pugh and Gemma Chan, with while 38 appearing in the film as well as working behind the camera. The film reported received a 5 minutes standing ovation following the screening conclusion on Monday night. However, it has been the subject of much recent media attention due to the interest in Wall and Style relationships, reports of behind-the-scenes tension, and the departure of Shia LaBeouf, who was replaced by the singer from the project. Ahead of its premiere, Wall said she did not want to contribute to the endless tabloid gossip and the noise. Olivia says public surveillance of Jason Siddique's custody document was vicious attempt at sabotage. Olivia has spoken about public's being several legal documents on behalf of her former fiance Jason Siddique while she was on stage, describing it as vicious and scary. The 38-year-old actress and director, who is now in a relationship with Harry Styles, was handed an envelope marked "personal" and confidential at an industry event in Las Vegas in April, as she was promoting her upcoming thriller Don't Worry Darling. She had 2 children with Siddique's 8-year-old son Otis and 5-year-old daughter Daisy, and earlier in August reportedly won the first part of custody battle after his claim for the children to live in Brooklyn, New York, was dismissed. In the new cover interview with U.S. entertainment outlet Variety, Wall referred to the incident without naming her ex-partner. "It was my workplace," she said. "In another workplace, it would be seen as an attack. It was really upsetting. It shouldn't have been able to happen. There was a huge breach in security, which is really, really scary. The hurdles that you had to jump through to get into that room with several batches, plus special COVID tests that had to be taken days in advance, which gave you wristbands that were necessary to gain access to the event. There was something that required Footage of the incident showed while appearing surprised after opening the envelope. The star told Variety the incident took away from the work that everyone had put into Don't Worry, Darling. I hate that this nastiness distract from the work of so many different people and the studio that I was up there representing. She said to try to sabotage that was really vicious, but I had a job to do. I'm not easily distracted. But Sally, it was not something that was entirely surprising to me. I mean, there's a reason I left that relationship. Following the incident, American representatives for Studio 46 confirmed the documents were related to the jurisdiction of the couple's children, but said the actor had no prior knowledge of how they would be delivered.